said I would. I love my UFOs and paranormal fun as well as music, so I'm singing it like I should. But then another conspiracy theory becomes the truth, my friends, and it never ends. No, it never ends. I feel the crap got stuck inside Mel's home with MK Ultra. I'm being only too aware. Did Stanley Kubrick fake the moon landing alone on a film set, or were the shadow people there? The Roswell aliens just fought the smiling man, I'm told, and his name was Cold. And I can't believe I'm dancing with the bitches. Head to fish on Thursday nights, Wednesday J2, and Wi-Fi left me all through the night. All I ever wanted was to just hear the truth. So the Wi-Fi's on repeat all through the night. The Mothman sightings and the solar storm still come to Agatha, the secret city underground. Mysterious number stations, planet Circle 2, Project Stargate, and what the Dark Watchers found. Within a simulation, don't you worry though. The Black Knight satellite told me so. I can't believe I'm dancing with the fishes. And the fish on Thursday nights, Wednesday J2, and Wi-Fi's on repeat all through the night. All I ever wanted was to just hear the truth. So the Wi-Fi's on repeat all through the night. And the fish on Thursday nights, Wednesday J2, and Wi-Fi's on repeat all through the night. All I ever wanted was to just hear the truth. So the Wi-Fi's on repeat all through the Judy loves to dance. Yeah, Judy loves to dance on the dance floor because she is a camel, and camels love to dance when the feeling is right on waiting time. Judy loves to dance. Judy loves to dance. I play Philippians in Area 51. A secret code inside the Bible said I would. I love my UFOs and paranormal fun as well as music, so I'm singing it like I should. But then another conspiracy theory becomes the truth, my friends, and it never ends. No, it never ends. I feel the crap got stuck inside Mel's home with MK Ultra. I'm being only too aware. Did Stanley Kubrick fake the moon landing alone on a film set, or were the shadow people there? The Roswell aliens just fought the smile.
We're almost there. We're almost there. I'm just getting it set up. This is the first time I'm doing this, so things could get weird. But hang in there.
inside the Bible said I would. I love my UFOs and paranormal fun, as well as music, so I'm singing it like I should. But then another conspiracy theory becomes the truth, my friends, and it never ends. No, it never ends. I feel the crap cat, I got stuck inside Mel's home with MK Ultra. I'm being only too aware. Did Stanley Kubrick fake the moon landing alone on a film set, or were the shadow people there? The Roswell aliens just fought the smiling man, I'm told, and his name was Cold. And I can't believe I'm dancing with the bitches. Headroom-fish on Thursday nights, Wednesday J2, and Wi-Fi's helping me on through the night. All I ever wanted was to just hear the truth, so the one falls on repeat all through the The Mothman sightings and the solar storm still come to Augusta, the secret city underground. Mysterious number stations, planets Earth 02, Project Stargate, and what the Dark Watchers found. Within a simulation, don't you worry though. The Black Knight satellite, it told me so. I can't believe I'm dancing with the fishes. Headroom-fish on Thursday nights, Wednesday J2, and the Wi-Fi's helping me on through the night. All I ever wanted was to just hear the truth, so the one falls on repeat all through the night. Headroom-fish on Thursday nights, Wednesday J2, and the Wi-Fi's helping me all through the night. All I ever wanted was to just hear the truth, so the one falls on repeat all through the Judy loves to dance. Judy loves to dance on the dance floor because she is a camel, and camels love to dance when the feeling is right. Always in time. Judy loves to dance. Judy loves to I play Polybius in Area 51. A secret code inside the Bible said I would. I love my UFOs and paranormal fun, as well as music, so I'm singing it like I should. But then another conspiracy theory becomes the truth, my friends, and it never ends. No, it never ends. I feel the crap cat, I got stuck inside Mel's home with MK Ultra. I'm being only too aware. Did Stanley Kubrick fake the moon landing alone on a film set, or were the shadow people there? The Roswell aliens just fought the smiling man, I'm told, and his name was Cold. And I can't believe I'm dancing with the bitches. Headroom-fish on Thursday nights, Wednesday J2, and Wi-Fi's helping me on through the night. ground. Mysterious number stations, planets circle to Project Stargate, and what the Dark Watchers found. Within a simulation, don't you worry though. The Black Knight satellite is told me so. I can't believe I'm dancing with the fish. Headrotation Thursday nights, Wednesday J2, and Wi-Fi me up to the night. All I ever wanted was to just hear the truth. So Wi-Fi me up to the night. Headrotation Thursday nights, Wednesday J2, and Wi-Fi me up to the night. All I ever wanted was to just hear the truth. So Wi-Fi me up to the
But we have to wait for this part, right?
Because she is a camel, and camels love to dance when the feeling is right on waiting time.
Yeah, I cut it a little soon. Okay. All right, we got to mute this. There you go. No mute. Maybe not. I want to give you another angle there, but that's not going to work. People are getting impatient in the chat. I know I should have given myself more time to set up. But impatient in the chat means I probably didn't set this up to subscriber only mode. So let's do that. Some people just get mean. Let's see, who can send messages? Subscribers that have been subscribed for, let me see the chat. What do you think, 2 weeks? You have to be a subscriber for 2 weeks. Should that keep out the meanies? Thank you, take your time, I appreciate that. Martin's got my back. Patricia Lee, thank you. And what about slow mode? Let's get that on. And that's done. All right. Going blind. Need the glasses. Ah, it's better. It's better. Thanks for showing up. I don't know how this is going to work today. I mean, I know what I'm supposed to do. I don't know how interesting this would be, but a couple of Patreon members said it would be fun to see the processes that go on back here. So on the weekends, usually Saturdays, I record our podcast. You know, we have a podcast, right? And it's very exciting. Today's very exciting because we hit number 23 on Spotify and we are number 38 on Apple. So that's pretty crazy. That makes Operation Podcast, I guess, one of the top 30 podcasts in the world at the moment. It won't last, but you know, we had a good week. So we're going to record this. It's going to be clunky. First thing, let's test to make sure that I can record. There's a test, 1 2 1 2, coming to you. All right, that recorded the file. I don't hear any audio. I'll probably, because when we record, we're going to have to switch to that. Okay, so here are the ground rules. Not for you. I just so you know what we're listening for. I'm going to need to move into this. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to record. I'm going to read the script. When I make a mistake, you'll hear this. That's just an indicator to the editors. It's probably going to be Josh editing this one, maybe Nathan, but most likely Josh. So if I make a mistake, I drop that in there so they know that's a bad take and they can just skip over it. If you hear this, that means there's something going on in the script they need to pay attention to, like an insert. An audio clip is typically what that would be. Sometimes it's a VO, one of our voiceover AI voices. So that's what those tones are. That's a mistake. That means an insert. And as we read, you'll see how those how those work. All right, I'm just right there. Okay. I think we're going to be all right. Let's change the temperature in the room. It got hot. Got hot in the espressos. Did you see the espresso machine? I'm so excited. It came just this week. And I already can tell I need a caffeine detox. All right, air conditioner's on. Thank you for being patient. This is what happens. Wayne says 10,000 people listening, no pressure. It's funny that you say that, Wayne. I don't feel any more pressure from 10,000 people than I do when I'm streaming for 10 people on Discord. It's fun, but I don't really look at the numbers like that. It doesn't change. I'm glad that so many people here, but it doesn't add any more pressure. The pressure's already there. Poopin's okay, barista boy. All right. Do we need to make it so you have to be a subscriber for like a full year? Would that keep out the mean comments? We'll see. You guys let me know as we go along. All right, let's say hi to the chat. And then we'll start recording. I can see I've already got issues. We'll solve them as we go along. Who is here? Mr. Jeff, it's good to see you. Poopy one, hey, I am Poopy. Okay. Good to see you. Rayman's here. Leonardo Salsas, good to see you. Austin Poole. Ronos is worth the wait. Because look, this is a backstage, behind the scenes stream, and the setup is kind of part of that. So it took me an extra 15 minutes. I apologize. But that's what's going to happen. I'm going to do a couple of super chats, and then we'll get into reading this thing. Today we're going to do the Number Station script. Number Station is a video I'd love to redo with our longer format, deeper dive, because the Number Station video goes back like 2 years on the channel, and it was something like a 15-minute video. So I'd love to do 45 minutes on it. So this is sort of the intermediary step. So today we're recording the podcast, which is a deeper dive on the topics, but it's still probably just going to be 30, 35 minutes. But depending on the response from it, what the analytics look like, it will give me an indicator that maybe this is an interesting topic that we can expand on the main channel. Hello from Australia. What's your name? Very kind words. That is Jados. Very kind words. Thank you for that. Beerly, can you do a deep dive on the WF and Davos? Yes, we would definitely do that. Abby Wilson saying all good. I appreciate you. There's love from Michigan. Breton, love your work. I'm glad that you do. It's hard. This week was the hardest I've ever worked for this channel, and maybe in my life. So Tuesday going into Wednesday, I slept for 1 hour. And then Wednesday going into Thursday, I slept for 90 minutes. And I'm only just recovering from that. I don't recommend doing that. But the episode, which is the one we just did, Neanderthals, it was just going to be kind of a generic talking head, not too much production. But my guys, Nathan and Josh, were helping me edit, and they were adding some great stuff to the production. So I said, all right, if you guys are into it, let's make this a big show. So we did, and they stayed late a couple of nights and ended up being a pretty good episode. You know, I know Neanderthals is not everybody's bag, but production-wise, it might be our best produced video that we've done. All right, what's going on in the super chats? OG, $5. Do we get a tipsy AJ tonight? Probably not. I took my swig of bourbon, take the edge off. Right now, I have to be careful with the espressos. In fact, I should get some water, right? Yeah, tipsy on the live stream is not a good look. It'll happen from time to time. I'm only human, but it's not a good look in general. I tend to get really honest, and that's how we get canceled. Paul, thank you for the 10. AJ wants to sing so badly. Always. Always. That's the Wi-Fi's theme is catchy. Alex Rogan, great surprise. Working night shift just got better. Well, that's cool. I'm glad, Alex. You know, rather than having a live stream that's just me reading super chats, which I wish I had more content for you, and we're working on it, a bunch of segments and stuff. Today will actually be content because we're going to do the story. We're going to do number stations, aka Pigeon Kicker. Thank you for the 2. Appreciate the support. Mandy is here for 5. Woohoo. Nice. Pigeon Kicker's back. I figured out time travel, but I'm just waiting for me to get back to tell me how. Well done. Well played. UGA. Yo, what an awesome surprise. Saturday night just got live, y'all. Yes, make sure to smash the things and click the things. Hot Dogging with Dan. Do you use OBS for your broadcasting software? I do. But I use it as it's the production software, but I then I use it as a virtual camera, and that becomes the input into StreamYard. So what you're seeing is through StreamYard. So it's not OBS directly to YouTube. StreamYard is cool because I can send the feed to StreamYard, and then they can easily send it out to all of our other places. So right now we're simulcasting on, I think we're on Facebook, we're on X, we're on Rumble. I tried to get TikTok working, but I couldn't. But you know, who cares about TikTok? But yes, OBS. My favorite is vMix, Dan, but we're using all Macs here. Joran Senpai, Andrew, my fiance and I love your videos. We're here with you and supporting this. I appreciate the support. Your factual evidence is so educational. Thank you. Could you please give my fiance Mitchell a shout out? Yo, Mitchell! Congratulations on the nuptials. You're gonna make an honest woman out of her. Well done, sir. Harley Parks, loved your show on When We Were Prey. Had no idea it makes sense. It does make sense. But remember, a lot of that episode is not true stuff. I mean, a lot of it was, but the things like the dark skin, the dark fur, that stuff probably wasn't true. But it's a very interesting book by Danny Vendramini, which I linked to in the episode. I linked to the Amazon link where you can buy the book, which, full disclosure, if you buy the book there, I get an affiliation something. I don't know, I get a couple of cents. But you can find the book for free online. Just search for the PDF version. Albie Wilson for 2. Hey, AJ and crew from your allied Australia. Good to see you, Australia. Smomato for 20. Full-blown Anunnaki episode when? It's coming really soon. We talked about it in the production meeting. I've only been holding off because every week something comes up about flood myths and all the Anunnaki stuff. So I just don't want to seem so repetitive. But it's an episode I really, really want to do. And Senpai's back with a super sticker. And congratulations on your nuptials. Going to make an honest man out of Mitchell. Momoto got you. Jeffrey's here. Greetings, programs. Because it's a simulation. Fantastic numbers for the podcast numbers. Yeah, they've been. I'm surprised that the numbers are so strong. Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys because it's just us, you know, and on the streams, I'm the most honest I am in my whole life. We launched the podcast too soon because I just don't have the time and the energy to get all of this done in 1 week. That's why I'm staying up all these late nights. But it's kind of the trap of being a creator, is that when something is successful, because it's so hard to have anything successful, when something just kind of catches on, you just got to keep doing it. But I did launch it too soon. All right, Rachel's there. The man half keeps bugging me to find out when you plan to do a Skinwalker Ranch episode. Love it that you do. That is coming, Rachel. That's on the production schedule. Kylo Charlie, thank you for the 20. Love y'all. And there is Poseidon. Thank you for the 2. Senpai's back. Thank you for the 10. Now, don't blow all your money on super chats. You're going to need that for honeymoons and well, marriages are expensive and they don't get cheaper as you go along. Brittany L. Cope for 5. Thanks for sharing with us. You're very welcome. Thanks for being here. I don't know what's going to happen. I can guarantee it's going to be clunky. Nebraska Rooster for 5. Just want to say thank you for doing these vids. You're my favorite channel on YouTube. Thanks, Nebraska. I'm glad that you're here. Jonathan Morales for 2. Love the Neanderthal app. I'm glad you did. It got a better response than I expected. But putting the extra work into the production, I think, helped. And that was part of why I wanted to do that. You know, I wasn't sure how many people are interested in Neanderthals. You guys can't do politics in the chat. Don't do it. And I meant to record something because I kind of went off on a rant on Discord. And by the way, if you're a Patreon member, you get 2 extra live streams a week that are just for you, where your camera's on too, so we can talk like face to face. So I kind of went on a rant about the Uniparty system. And I'm thinking about doing like an actual recorded rant about how if you're a Republican or a Democrat, you're kind of just playing into their hands. You know, they want us to hate each other. So you gotta kind of step out of the game. And look, and you can still be a left wing, left of center, right wing, right of center, libertarian, whatever you want to be. You could still be those things, but don't pledge allegiance to the party, because those people don't care about us. They care about making money. And the way to make money is to get us to hate each other and keep fighting. Lorraine D for 10 euros, super sticker. Thank you for that. Juan Castle's there. AJ, how do you cope with anxiety? Tips? Oh, that's hard to answer, because sometimes it's take a shot of whiskey, which is not the way to handle it. First thing you should do is talk to a therapist and see if the therapist can recommend you to a psychiatrist. Maybe you need to be medicated. Probably not for anxiety, but maybe you do. In general, the best way I find in coping with anxiety is get a lot of good sleep, which I haven't been, but get a lot of good sleep. Exercise if you can. And you don't got to go hard, but take a walk, move your body, and make sure you're not eating too much junk. You know, that's really a good start. But talk to somebody, and maybe you need to be medicated. And if you do, take the meds. Anxiety meds, a little bit easier to deal with than the depression stuff. I'm not a big fan of the depression medication like SSRIs. I'm not on those. I don't want to be on those. I find them dangerous. I'm not your doctor. But my point is, like, if you go on an SSRI and you want to come off of it, that's really, really hard. But anxiety meds, it's not as difficult. You just have to watch out for the addiction. So be careful out there. Poseidon, thank you for the super sticker. Mercy Med, thank you for that. Paul is so excited to see how the sausage is made. This is how. I mean, I guess I could show you. I don't know how well this is gonna play on here, but I could show you. Like, there's a script. That's what we're gonna be working off. I was gonna say, if you want, I can keep the script up while we're recording, but I can't do that because we have to go into podcast mode. Oh, we might be able to do it. let's do it. Let's do a quick poll. Let's see. Do you want to see the script as I'm reading, or just my big fat dumb face? Yes, script. No, fat face. All right, and then we'll let you guys decide. But that's the script. That's what we're working on, and 22 pages, which is that's not bad. That's going to be a nice short script. I already went through it and did my edits. So what's happened here is we took the original script from the Number Station episode, and then one of our great mods, Mischief, went through and expanded on it. She did a great job. And then Mrs. Y-Files Jen goes through that, and she does her own edits. And what Jen's primary job is to edit scripts and take out the stuff that makes me angry, that annoys me, because I'll lose my temper. There's some of these podcast reads which I could not stream live. So Jen knows what those things are. She edits those out. And then I take a final pass at it. So happily, this one didn't need too much of my work. I just had to move a few things around. All right. So yes, script and no fat face is neck and neck, with fat face leading the way. All right. Treeby is there. Thank you for the super sticker. Julian Makanda for 5. Hey, I'm glad you're here. You mean a lot to more people than you know. Keep up the great work, man. That's nice to hear. I hope that's true. I hope that I'm having a positive impact on people's lives. It would make this meaningful and not just a stupid YouTube channel. Fat face pulling ahead. Poseidon Hecklefish is with me. Stephen Burns, Fear the Crab Cat. I guess I was going to put on my Crab Cat shirt for this, but this isn't a merch plug show. Johnny Shabazz for 2345. Is there a way you can set up auto notification to subscribers via text like some YouTubers do? If some YouTubers do that, then that means it's possible. I don't know how to do that. If you know how to do that, Johnny, let me know. I thought you had to click the notification bell, which I never ask people to do. It's just too much. And we got to go with that. Chris Spranger, wow, $140 Canadian. Here is for the hard work. Thank you very much, my friend. I tried to get Hecklefish to sing, but I guess I didn't set it up right. This is what happens when you do it live. Shattered Edge for 20. Hey, Jay, long-time watcher. Absolutely love your channel, and so glad you're discussing Number Stations. I'm obsessed with them. I am too. I've always been into them. I don't know if Art covered them very much on his show, but my dad was into Number Stations. He was like an audio, I don't want to say audiophile, but he was into like audio stuff. So as you know, dad was a cop for many years, NYPD, and he's dead now, so I don't think I can get him in trouble. But once in a while, he would confiscate things that just didn't make their way into the evidence room and made their way home. And one of those things was a bug, was a microtransmitter that I don't know who he got that from, but brought it home and gave it to 6-year-old, 7-year-old me. And I had that thing for years, and it was super cool. And what you would do was just a little box about the size of like a thumb drive, and you'd set a frequency on it. This one was FM. And it had the antenna was like a little wire, kind of a tail. And you place the bug somewhere, and then you tune into FM wherever you set the frequency. And it did a pretty good job and had a range of maybe 100 feet. So those little stories will give you an insight to how we ended up here. But yeah, I've always been obsessed with them too. There's Buzz Darkin and the Mastiffs. Fun stuff. The Mastiffs are happy to see you tonight. Have a great weekend. Same to you, Buzz. Buzz is a great supporter of the channel and a Patreon member. He's always around to support. We'll read a couple of more and then we're going to get moving. Boji 1 Cav for 2. Remember to drink your Ovaltine. All right, a little cryptography joke there. The SDRN, who's very reliable, loves the Number Station episode. Thanks for a deep dive on it. Congrats on all your success. Thanks. A lot of it's due to you. I'm very aware of it. All right, let me clear these super chats out of here. So when we come back to them, I know where I left off. And I'll do my best to read as many of these as I can tonight. But it depends on how late we go. All right, so next super chat is Brittany Cope. And let's see where we are at the poll, how we're going to do this. Nope, just fat face. All right, so no script. Which means I could bring it over here where I can actually see it. Hang on, I'm just setting up. I want to make sure I can see the chat. See my script. Let's make that font a little bit bigger for Grandpa's eyes. Yeah, that's better. So now we're in the main scene. I need to switch to the podcast scene. Check my tones. Okay, is my mic working? It is. Let's do a recording test. Testing the recording. Hello, hello. Check the file. Testing the recording. Hello. All right. We're in business. Let's do Number Stations. Let me know if I'm going too fast. The espresso will do that to you. All right, Number Station, scene 1, the hook. Let's get into performance mode. Red leather, yellow leather, and all that. Since World War I, number stations have been used to transmit coded messages to spies worldwide. These stations use shortwave radio, which is tech you might expect to see in a World War II movie. But even with the advancements in modern day technology, you may be surprised to learn that these number stations are still used today. They're actively transmitting messages around the world right now. At the height of the Cold War, shortwave radio listeners started to notice strange broadcasts. Starting with a weird melody or tone, these transmissions were followed by the unnerving sound of a woman's robotic voice counting in German, or the creepy voice of a child reciting letters in English. And we're going to do an insert there of a station and coming out of insert. These transmissions sound strange to casual listeners, but to the right set of ears, they contain information that could change the course of history. In fact, number stations have changed the course of history. Stop recording. Check our audio. Even with the advancements, all right, and name the file. NSO1. And scene 2. Did she number them? She didn't. All right, then scene next, I guess. Even though we're in the age of satellites, artificial intelligence, broadband Wi-Fi, and cyber warfare, it could be that the old-fashioned radio is the real tool of the New World Order. If you want to conspire with spies, military organizations, governments, or the ruling elites, and your goal is to communicate a plan to oppress the masses, you don't want to leave a digital trail. So to help facilitate your quest for world domination, you broadcast the encrypted details of your evil plot over shortwave radio. So to help, you see, this is This is how it goes. So to help facilitate your quest for world domination, you broadcast the encrypted details of your evil plot over shortwave radio, also known as number stations. You may have heard that number stations are a relic of the past, but number stations are active and being used right now. We'll listen to a few of the transmissions in this podcast. But before we do, let's take a step back and discuss the history of hidden messages and their importance in global espionage. To better understand number stations, we first need to go back in time to well before the invention of the radio. We need to go back 4,000 years because, believe it or not, number stations have their roots in ancient Egypt. Scene 2, check it. Or the ruling elites, and your goal is to, all right, NSO2. The reason I'm checking the audio is last week I recorded an entire podcast and about halfway through the audio dropped out, which was brutal. So I had to re-record it. So now after every scene I'm checking. Do you guys want me to pop back out in the chat in between these? All right, I'm just going to keep cruising along. These are nice short scenes. Well, this one coming up is a lot. And look, I apologize for the errors and the mistakes, but that's how it happens. We've got some Egyptian names coming up. There's some German in this script, some Spanish. So there's going to be mistakes. All right, scene 3, cryptography history. And I got to slow it down. Cryptography is the science of encrypting text and data. Some of the earliest uses of cryptographic symbols date to the Old Kingdom of Egypt in a town called Menet Khufu. While excavating the tomb of Khnumhotep. While excavating the tomb of Khnumhotep. It's frustrating because some of these names I just know, but they're hard to, because when I'm doing this, when I'm like doing the show and doing the podcast, the energy is amped up and my volume is much louder, which makes it harder to enunciate words. If I can just read it like I was just talking to somebody, it's a lot easier. But when you're doing it like performance level, it's harder to get these words out. Sorry, Josh. He's the editor. He's got to hear me do all this stuff. Let's leave a mark in there so he knows. While excavating the tomb of Khnumhotep II, While excavating the tomb of Khnumhotep II, researchers found something unusual. Many inscriptions within the tomb were written with unusual symbols instead of the standard symbols they expected to find. Many claim this was done simply to embellish the tomb. However, some theorize these unusual hieroglyphics were placed in the tomb to conceal the true meaning of the writings. The tomb of Ramses VI also contains examples of these strange symbols. The central tableau has an image of a standing mummy. Normally, hieroglyphics are written top down or right to left. The symbols on either side of the mummy were written from the center out. And inside the tomb of one of the most well-known pharaohs, there may be clues to finding one of Egypt's. All right, but hang on, we got to get this one right. This is important. This is exciting. And inside the tomb of one of the most well-known pharaohs, there may be clues to finding one of Egypt's lost queens. Oval tablets found in the tomb of King Tutankhamun contain encrypted hieroglyphics that suggest the location of the tomb of his mother, Queen Nefertiti. The location of Queen Nefertiti's tomb remains one of the great mysteries of Egyptian archaeology. Nefertiti was a queen of the 18th dynasty of Egypt and the wife of Pharaoh Akhenaten. Ancient Egypt isn't the only place where we find early evidence of cryptography and hidden messages. Clay tablets dated to around 1500 BC in Mesopotamia appear to encrypt the recipe for pottery glaze. Recipes for glaze varied from craftsman to craftsman, and an individual's formula would have been a tightly held secret. The tablets appear to use code to conceal the ingredients and measurements. Around 500 BC, Hebrew scholars used substitution ciphers, such as the Atbash cipher. The Atbash cipher is monoalphabetic. It's formed by taking the alphabet and mapping it to its reverse. The first letter becomes the last letter, the second letter becomes the second to last letter, and so on. This method of concealment was used to encode many texts, including books found in the Bible. Julius Caesar used a cipher around 58 BC. This cipher, named the Caesar cipher, was a substitution cipher sometimes referred to as a shift cipher or skip code cipher. Caesar shifted the letters of a message. I see a mistake in the sentence. All right, Josh, after skip code cipher coming up. Caesar shifted letters of a message to letters found Caesar shifted letters of a message to letters found 3 places after the original. A becomes D, B becomes E, and so on. To decode the message, the receiver needed to shift the message 3 letters back in the alphabet. The Spartans developed a device called, because now we got Greek words. The Spartans developed a device called the Skytale. This device was first mentioned by Greek poets in the 7th century BC. In 120 AD, more detailed information on how to use the device was described by the Greek historian Plutarch. The Skytale consisted of a cylinder in which strips of parchment could be wound around it to find the message. To decrypt, the recipient wrapped the parchment around the same diameter cylinder and was then able to read the code. Wrapping the parchment around a cylinder of a different diameter would fail to decode the message. When the Spartans sent soldiers into battle, they would create 2 sections of wood that were identical in length and diameter. Either party would wrap parchment around the wood to communicate and record a message. Once unraveled, the message would be unreadable unless you had a matching cylinder. In 1466, Leon Battista Alberti, commonly known as the father of Western cryptography, founded the concept of a polyalphabetic cipher. A polyalphabetic cipher uses multiple alphabetic substitutions instead of one. This means that the letter A could be substituted for C in one sentence, and in the next sentence, A might be mapped to T. Alberti used this mixed alphabet to encrypt messages and would include an uppercase letter or number in the cryptogram to identify a switch in the key. I'm checking, did I miss an insert? I did. We're going to go back and get it. Coming out of switching the key. To help accomplish this, sometimes if I can't get a word, like here's an actor thing. Sorry, Josh, you got to listen to the stories. Here's an actor thing or a radio thing. You might get stuck on a word, even an easy word like accomplish. But once you're in your head that you're struggling with it, you're not going to be able to say it. So sometimes I'll go take 2, take 3, and just like, screw it, I just got to change the word. Because I know my brain's not going to let me say it. We're back from switch the key. To achieve this, Alberti used a decoder disk he called a formula. This device used 2 concentric disks. Let's get it clean. This device used two concentric discs that were attached by a common pin. When one disc was rotated, the second disc would rotate and provide the decryption needed. Now, this is just a small list of ciphers found throughout early history. As time and technology changed, so did the methods used for concealing communications. The First World War brought a need for covert communications across vast distances. This is where radio waves and the use of number stations comes into play. Let's look at these number stations and I don't know if we want to come out that way. But we'll leave it. Come into play. Let's look at these number stations and discuss their use in various parts of the globe. See, I think we can come up with a stronger ending than that. Get rid of these. Let's just come into play. I can't think of one off the top of my head. I'll stop it there. We don't need. Josh is already going to suffer through this. All right, check the audio to conceal the ingredients, and we're good. And SO3. All right, chapter 4, Enigma. Oh, we got to do an insert, right? You're my co-producer. Don't let me forget. We need an insert for chapter 1.
Isn't it amazing what passes for a live stream these days? Boy, oh boy.
Shat. You're killing me, Shat. I'm just getting to a share screen for you. All right, we had an insert here. A woman's robotic voice counting in German, the creepy voice of a child reciting the letters in English. What? What station was that? I think it was this one. So yeah, you're not getting a story just with a clean flow. But have you ever gone to, let me know in the chat, has anyone gone to see like a sitcom performed live? It's kind of like this. You know, they do a couple of different takes. When there are mistakes, you stop, you reset back to one, and it's a live audience there. So I guess that's kind of what this is. All right, so I think I know what number station that is. Yes. It's called the Swedish Rhapsody. And if you don't know what number stations are, this is being broadcast right on shortwave. So you'd be tuning in and just suddenly this creepy thing. In the chat, are you hearing the phone? The hybrid is here. I think you hear the phone. PH, thank you for modding today. Mod couldn't have to show up, but I appreciate it. Cole's Towing says, Cole's Towing, ice cream truck. It was designed to sound like that. It's a music box, and they ran it through a couple of different processors to make it sound like an ice cream truck. But let's get to the creepy. One second. So was I hearing that you guys can't hear me when the audio is playing? Is that true in the chat? Did you not hear me talking? Like, am I not there now? I'll play in reverse. So audio's not there now. Let me check the levels. Up, 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 up. I'm seeing levels. I can hear you fine. We heard you, but the music was loud. Yeah, that's true. I have those turned up to max. All right, so I'll just be aware of that if I'm going to talk over the audio, I should just pause it. Robin Sparkles, thanks for showing up today. That's one of our great mods. Paul is there also modding today. He is our biggest supporter of the channel, by the way. We wouldn't be here without Paul and his support, his financial support. All right, so that's the Swedish Rhapsody. That's going to be the insert that we're going to drop into here. So let's grab that audio. And I've got a tool here to download the YouTube videos. Swedish Rhapsody. And we will put that in the folder. We'll call that inserts. I know you guys can't see this. Look, we're doing it live. So now we'll paste that in for Josh. And we'll let him know. Let him know the creepy starts around 2:47. Child's voice. Don't use too much. Keep it moving. All right, back to our scene. Where the heck are we? Oh, we're gone on scene 4. Mischief, you didn't number the scenes. All right, got it. So what I will do is I'll read the chapter, and where we have inserts, I'll try to grab them as we go along. And be warned, I don't know some of these inserts off the top of my head, so we're just going to have to search them out. That's... What are we going to do? What's this? What is this? What? We've got Gino in the chat.
What's this? Did you pull me up? Because I didn't pull me. It shouldn't log me in. I was just going to be here in case you needed any producer help questions down there.
No, we I mean, if you want to do some research ahead of time, so I'm not struggling too much, I can give you some stuff to look up on YouTube or elsewhere.
Cool. Do it.
And then you could just drop the links in the private chat. So coming up, we're going to need audio of the Lincolnshire Poacher. Gino, by the way, Gino knows all of these number stations. This is a familiar topic to Gino. So we're going to need the Lincolnshire Poacher and Cherry Ripe.
Okay.
If you want to look for those.
Will do.
All right. Let's make sure we're still in the right scene. We are. All right, scene 4, short one. The earliest number stations used Morse code in combination with radio transmissions and was referred to as wireless telegraphy. I don't really like the way we did that one. I don't like the way that sounded. Let's try it again from the top. The earliest number stations used Morse code in combination with radio transmissions and was referred to as wireless telegraphy. This method emerged as an alternative to telephone and telegraph lines. In 1918, a German firm patented an idea for a cipher machine. The military and governments across the globe were using this device by 1923. The name of the device might be familiar to you. It was called Enigma. Enigma was a combination of electrical and mechanical systems. It used plug boards and rotating rotor discs along a spindle. Traditional methods of telegraph and telephone lines were too easily tapped and damaged in areas where there was active combat. Military operatives needed a way to send messages that couldn't be interrupted by damaged phone lines that ran underground. This is when radio was introduced and number stations were born. All right, that's scene 4 done. Oh, check the audio. You're right. Lines. And we're there. Checking the next scene is a long one. No, it's not so bad. What's going on in the chat? Ethereal Butterfly, thank you so much. Lee Asbury, very nice of you to say. Violence of Action, calling out for like and sub. I appreciate that. Appreciate the plugs, Violence. Shelly is dropping actual frequencies in there. Shelly, one thing I wanted to do was, I just didn't have the ability to do it at the time when the episode came out, was do a live stream of us going through the different number stations that are on the air right now using software. So maybe we'll do that. Maybe that'd be a good follow-up to this. And when I post the announcement for that, I'll be very specific in that it's going to be very nerdy and a lot of just scrolling through different frequencies. So people don't think it's going to be super fun. But to those radio nerds or people that are really into this topic, it will be a lot of fun. Z2 Guy saying, hey, AJ, well, hey to you. Paul, I think you flubbed a word in the first chapter and didn't catch it. I will flub a few words in the script, but unless it's just an obvious mistake, I'll let it go because I'm human and people will understand from context. So these are not meant to be perfect. You said englyphted. That could also be my clogged nasal passages. But more inside baseball, if there are things like that I really do miss, Josh will let me know and say this line wasn't right or you missed a word, and then I'll just record it. Psycho Killer, let's do it live. We'll do it live. One of the great Bill O'Reilly clips. Just me, good to see you. Monica's there. Thank you for that, Dimitri. Hi to you. RBA, hey AJ, hi from Arizona. I love Arizona. Lived there for a little bit, not too long ago. Delta Tango, I'm one of those radio nerds. I deduced that from your handle. You used to stay up all hours of the night listening to shortwave. Are you a ham, Delta? That's something I'm going to get into. I just haven't had time to take the test. Lindsay Hayes, hi, is this for real? I think so. Avatar Guy, very reliable. Thank you for your time tonight. Well, thank you for showing up. Kareem, this is my first live. Well, welcome. There's Ron from the middle of the Mojave. Ron is very reliable Patreon member. All right, we're on scene 5. I need to change the color of the text because when they put in new text, they put it in red for me, so I know, but it's a little hard to read. So let's change that color. All right, there we go. Scene 5, are we in the right scene there? Yes, we are. One of the best known number stations was the Lincolnshire Poacher. One of the best known number stations was, hang on a second. What do you got?
Link to your poacher I put in the private chat there. You can play it
Oh.
if you want to hear it.
Great. Well, since I can't pronounce it, I'm going to go ahead and re-record that scene. Lincolnshire Poacher, that's a famous one. Did you find the find Cherry yet?
No, I'm doing that one right now.
It's out there.
And it's queued up right to the right second, so you're not listening to too much in the beginning of it.
Gino, bring the producer chops today. Are you here in the studio?
No, I'm home.
You're home, and what's that background? Did you do that yourself, or do you actually have?
This is just a virtual background that you don't need a green screen for on StreamYard right now. I mean, it works for the most part. You know, if I move around, you're gonna see stuff back there.
Oh,
You know.
all right. Cool. I like it. All right, there he goes. All right, let's slow it down. One of the best known number stations was the Lincolnshire Poacher, named after the folk song played as an identifying signal. We got to rewrite that sentence. We'll stop recording so Josh doesn't have to deal with this. One of the best known number stations was the Lincolnshire Poacher. Named after the folk song. I think that's fine. It used this song as its on-air identifier. All right. One of the best known number stations was the Lincolnshire Poacher, named after the folk song. It used this song as its on-air identifier. There's an insert for Lincolnshire. Coming out of insert. The song used was mentioned as early as 1776 and was said to be a favorite of King George IV. It was used as a regimental quick march in the British Army and is the principal quick march theme of the British Intelligence Corps. The song is authorized for use by the Canadian Forces and was used during the Civil War by the New York Regiment. We should make that the American Civil War. We're Americans, so we think everything revolves around us. The song is authorized for use by the Canadian Forces. It was used during the American Civil War by the New York Regiment. In short, the song has a long history of being used by the British military as a call sign. The Lincolnshire Poacher Station first appeared during the Cold War era in the mid-1970s. It was thought to be operated by the British Secret Service. The exact date of its creation is unknown because the British government has never confirmed nor denied its existence. Broadcasts happened multiple times per day and on several frequencies. The transmission format was always the same. The identifier song, followed by a pre-recorded female voice with an English accent, reading groups of 5 numbers. Each transmission contains 200 sets of numbers and lasted 45 minutes. The final 2 numbers in each set were spoken in a higher pitch. A few radio nerds slash heroes used direction finding equipment to triangulate the station's location. The transmission was coming from a Royal Air Force base in Cyprus. The station is believed to have been operated by MI6 from the mid-1970s all the way to 2008. But Lincolnshire Poacher wasn't the only station used by the British government. It had a sister station on the other side of the globe. Like Lincolnshire, the Cherry Ripe station began operations in the mid-1970s. The station's interval signal was also taken from a folk song with its namesake. Inserting Cherry Ripe. And Gino, I have the link for Cherry Ripe, so you don't got to hunt. Coming out of insert. This station broadcast first from Guam. This station broadcast first from Guam and later from Australia. It worked with the Lincolnshire Poacher station. All right, hang on. Let me see what she's trying to say here. No, that sentence no good. We'll cut that sentence. Oops, not the whole sentence. All right, Josh, we're coming back out of insert. Scratching the rest of that from the script. This station broadcast first from Guam and later from Australia. Like Lincolnshire Poacher, Cherry Ripe is also featured. Like Lincolnshire Poacher, Cherry Ripe also featured a female voice. Oh boy, oh boy. Like Lincolnshire Poacher, Cherry Ripe also featured a female voice with a British accent, reading 200 groups of 5 numbers. The final 2 numbers in each set were spoken in a higher pitch. Cherry Ripe station ceased broadcasting in 2009. Cherry Ripe station ceased broadcasting in 2009. Now, if you're a little unsettled listening to these broadcasts, you're not alone. There's something inherently creepy about them. But there are some number stations whose broadcasts sound like they're straight out of a horror movie. That's the end of that scene. That was rough. NS05. We've got 2 inserts here. Gino found one. Private chat. All right. So that's the insert. Here is, I guess I don't have to download it for them since it's just from YouTube. There's the YouTube link, and we're going to start with. All right. So let's tell him to play the song maybe twice, then into voice at.
Three 9 7 1 5. 3 9 7 1 5. 3 9 7 1 5. 3 9.
All right. At about 55, then it's voice. So maybe her reading numbers twice. Other numbers as well. Then let's close it out with a tone.
6
2 is the end tone. And we had one more, right? Cherry Station. Okay, yeah, we want it from there. There's the link. Start with tone at 24. And just go to 39. Play tone twice.
Seven.
127 numbers. All right, that's our insert. Straight out of a horror movie is next, which is scene 6. Let's say hi to the chat. Brooklyn number stations can't hurt you. They can't. Delta Tango used to hear these stations about 3 a.m. Very creepy when sitting in a dark room with only radio dial light. That's true. Lisa Cox, more about the frequency, please. Like, what do you want to know? The actual frequencies for these? I haven't included them in the podcast because it's just reading numbers. But maybe in the show notes I can put those down. But honestly, any of these stations I'm mentioning today are highly Googleable. So you can definitely find the frequencies. Josh Smith, that last one may be poop a little. Yeah, they could be scary, or you could have a sphincter issue. Either one. Roberto, good to see you. Paranormal, play it backwards. No, thank you. Nick Stewart, there are way too many number stations. There are a lot. David W, what's up? Just tuned in. It's kind of behind the scenes. It's kind of a mess, but we're having fun. The George, the 6th one is very catchy. The Lincolnshire Poacher, yeah. All right, let's go to the next one. I got to change the color of these. This is hard to read. And that's where your scene ends. All right, scene 6. Scene 6. Looking for tricky words. Emil Reisdorf, got it. Luxembourg polka, or got it. Okay. I think we got it. One of the creepiest stations ever was called Swedish Rhapsody. It used a child's music box. A child's voice read the numbers in German. Insert the number station. Coming out of insert. The station appeared in the late 1950s. It was operated by the Polish Ministry of Public Security, or the MBP. The MBP was responsible for intelligence and counterintelligence. Nasals. The MBP was responsible for intelligence and counterintelligence, internal security, and secret police functions. It was known for its role in suppressing political opposition to the communist regime, and it conducted surveillance, censorship, and the detention and interrogation of dissidents. Documents released by the Polish government in 2014 confirmed the station was Documents released by the Polish government in 2014 confirmed the station was operated until 1998. It also revealed the child's voice heard during the transmissions was accomplished by manipulating the pitch of a German machine known as the Sprach-Morse generator. We're inserting that station, and Gino's saying it's posted in the notes. Okay. Gino, I'm going to post this script for you so you can see where I am, because I have links to a lot of these already. Where are we? This Sprach-Morse generator. Okay, coming out of insert. The memo revealed the song was created by changing the pitch of a music box to sound like an ice cream truck. It wasn't a Swedish Rhapsody, but Luxembourg Polka by Emil Reisdorf. Inserting the polka. Coming out of insert. Whether it was Luxembourg Polka or Swedish Rhapsody, it was creepy. But here's something even more unsettling. The station broadcast until 1998. The MBP was disbanded in 1954. So, who are they talking to? End of scene. 6. Check audio. Released by the Polish government and got it. All right, we've got some inserts here. Swedish Rhapsody, which I think we already got. All right, let's tell him. Grab a few beeps from the beginning. Then music at 24. And let that roll to 36. On the podcast, like on the show, I would keep this very tight and only play a little of it. But on the podcast, I like to let it run. Let you hear more of it. Because number stations, they're repetitive. and they're repetitive because they're alerting the agents in the field it's coming. So right now they're out there, they're setting up, they're getting their pens, their papers. Okay, and then numbers at 1 minute. And play those till 1:17 until music starts again. And now I want to see if there is an end of transmission code. Acht, sieben, sieben, six. What's fun about these particular videos is they're not processed, like they're not cleaned up. So this is how they sounded on the radio. It's very creepy. Did she end it there? I couldn't understand that German word. Could you understand that word in the chat after acht? So that happens at 4:08. At 4:08, end of transmission. All right, next insert is Sprach.
Yes. Jetzt wird das.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 8 und Rennungsende. 1, Rennung 2, 0, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 1, 3, 5,
Jetzt wieder.
All right.
2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4,
Hang on a second.
2,
German speakers here?
2, 3,
2 is zwei. Yeah? But listen,
2, 3,
it's she's like saying vous. All right, so I don't know.
6, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
All right. So we'll tell Josh, just grab some numbers. Grab some numbers. Might need processing. And we've got the polka next. Okay. So we tell them, play a little of this music, but not too much. But not too much. Copyright issue. Maybe put sound underneath. The reason we put sound underneath is it makes it a little harder for Content ID to track the copyright. Not that I'm trying to steal from the artist. It's just I want to play 15 seconds of it without having it demonetized. All right, that's that. Those inserts are done. And we're up to the next scene. And we've got some good ones coming up. Gino, Yosemite Sam. So if you see in the script, Gino, there are a few that I didn't find. So I'm talking about the Pip, Squeaky Wheel, the Goose, the Alarm. Are we able to get into the script?
Yeah, I'm looking at them now. All right, I'll try and get those.
There's a couple there I've never even heard of, which is awesome.
I'm looking for the Mexican food parody one. That's a little later on in the script.
Yeah, I never heard of that either.
Trying to dig into something that says Mexican food just is giving me menus all over around my house.
This research is making you hungry?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get a tamale.
We're gonna need to get tacos after this.
So I put the Tension 69. I got two different versions. The one below is interesting, but I think the one above is probably the longer format and the correct one.
All right. Tension 69, you've got that there. And then you've got Yosemite Sam. That's my personal favorite.
I didn't know if I pasted if it would make the document jump, and I didn't want to do that while you were talking.
No. If you paste it in the doc, it would make it jump.
Yeah. Gotcha.
All right. What so you got? Attention 69. Oh, that's a WAV file. We'll listen to that anyway, just to hear what that sounds like. Like I'm watching the numbers. So this is clearly interesting to some people, but not to a lot of people, which is fine. I understand.
I think you're doing it right by only playing, 2 or 3 of the repetitive stuff. Everyone will get at least the idea of what it is coming up.
Right.
The squeaky wheel in there too.
Right. That's ready. We're going into scene 7. By the 1960s, almost every major power on Earth was using number stations. A number station in Western Russia broadcasts constant buzzing at 465 kilohertz. Aptly named the buzzer, the station sends out about 24 buzzes per minute, 24 hours a day. Inserting the buzzer and coming out of insert. Occasionally, the buzzing stops and a voice message is relayed. The format of the messages is always the same. Call sign 58151, code word 39516578. The call sign and the code word are spelled out in the Russian phonetic alphabet. They're known as a monolith method. Change that. Coming out of phonetic alphabet. They're known as monolith messages, meaning the message is relayed between other radio communications. The Russians operated quite a bit of... Gotta change that. The Russians operated quite a few number stations. The PIP, a station operating in the southern part of Russia, began in the mid-1980s and is still active today. Inserting the PIP. Coming out of insert. Squeaky Wheel was on air from 2000 until 2008. Insert Squeaky Wheel. Come out of insert. The Goose started transmissions in 2018. Insert the goose. Coming out of insert. And the alarm started broadcasting in 2019, but stopped in the middle of 2020. It's the alarm. And changing the script there. Okay, coming out of the alarm insert. You might be wondering why number stations continued to operate after the end of the Cold War. But as you've heard me say several times, the Cold War never ended. End of scene 7. Check audio. The call sign and the code audio. Good. Let's find our inserts. You got them all?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. It's on top of it. All right. Swedish Rhapsody we got. We're in Russian. So there's the buzzer. The pip. All right, there's, you got squeaky wheel.
Squeaky wheel. The goose is the best quality one. It definitely stands out among the others that sound like someone's recording on the cassette tape, you know?
Yep. I think that's okay. Makes it sound creepier. But we can still clean that up in post anyway if we had to. But I kind of like having it sound creepy.
The goose is a cool one. The alarm is the worst.
Is that why you said annoying in the private chat?
Yeah. Yeah, don't play the alarm for the live.
I got to play it.
Right. Goose is better.
All right. The first one is the buzzer. That's a famous one. Oops. There we go. Buzzer. And when we live stream, just goofing around with number stations, that's kind of what the software looks like. I mean, I have a newer, better one that will let us scan a bunch of frequencies at once and monitor them even if we're not actively listening, which is pretty cool. But that's what it looks like. You're seeing the electromagnetic spectrum is what that is. All right, so this is.
Let me ask a question. So at this point,
Yep.
there's no way to triangulate where a signal is coming from.
No, there is. Yeah, there is. And we'll get into it a little bit later in the script, but there were a couple of number stations that were shut down immediately after getting caught.
That's what I'm saying. If they could find Shia LaBeouf somewhere in the world, I would think that the number stations weren't protected, you know? But I guess if you don't know what they're saying, what's the difference if you know where they are?
Right. Next insert is the pip. We had a double tone there. I think I like that. That was cool. So 19 to end. Gino, that was the one that you said was the quality was no good?
No, it's not that it's no good. It's just the goose is a good quality comparatively to all of these.
All right, next we got Squeaky Wheel.
So I kind of went with the ones that look like that same upload, that same format. So I'm going to go back and see if I could just find any that are better quality that aren't from that same creator.
Okay. I mean, if you want, I guess to be hardcore, but the Conet project has all of these recorded onto MP3s, which I downloaded at some point, and maybe maybe that's what we need to do. See if we can we download the Conet project. Here's the Conet project. So the Conet was a series of CDs that came out, I guess, around 2009, that had a ton of stations on them, but I only see a couple here.
I mean, there's a lot of videos on it that I can start.
You already know that one. That's only showing a couple. There's way more. Let's go to the archive. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Download it as a playlist. Oh no, yeah, we'll do it this way. The MP3s. No, I want to download them all at once. All right. Project for Gino.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you this link in the private chat. And now see on my screen.
Yep.
Go when you go to that site, you can do VBR. Oh wait, it looks like we've got it right there. Is that going to give me a zip? Yeah, gave me a zip. We're good.
All right, I did my job.
You did your job and you did it well. All right, so let's see. Why does that say 65 files? Let's download those two. And we'll download that as well. Now I just want to see if we have any stations that we're referencing. So we've got the Attention lady. So that's good that she's in there. But I don't see any others. Others, Lincolnshire. Yeah, super famous one. All right, I'm just going to get these files and a place for Josh. Got it. Got it. All right, where are we? We got, now we're up to the goose. We're up to that one.
You still have
Say again.
Yeah, the Conan project still playing. Oh,
Conan Project is still playing.
why do I hear it? Still playing on mine. Anyone else hear that, or is it just me?
I just shut the tab. Maybe I had the tab on.
Yeah.
All right, here's the
guys.
goose. Play a few goose tones. And did the goose give us any numbers? Yes.
I just didn't know what they were saying, so I couldn't tell if it was numbers.
Message at 30. All right, message at 30. Play a few numbers. Then end of transmission tone at 135. Next one, we've got the alarm, which Gino says don't play.
It's just annoying.
It means we have to play it. All right, I was just through with you.
It reminds me of in college, like in the dorm, you know, dudes would get drunk all night and then their alarm would go off at 6 in the morning and they wouldn't wake up and they just go off for hours. You just hear it like ringing.
Yep. Did we get an end of transmission?
I did not listen to that one all the way through.
Play a few tones. Try not to annoy my listeners too much. All right, those are inserts for scene 7. Moving on to scene 8. All right, moving on to scene 8. Got it. My favorite number station of all time is Yosemite Sam, whose voice is played as part of the transmission. The broadcast begins on one of several frequencies. 10 seconds later, it's repeated on the next higher frequency and so on for 2 minutes. The entire pattern takes exactly 2 minutes and always begins 7 seconds after the top of the hour. Each broadcast starts with a data burst lasting 0.8 seconds, followed by the voice of Yosemite Sam. Insert of Yosemite. Coming out of insert. 2 amateur radio operators tracked down the source of Yosemite's. 2 amateur radio operators tracked down the source of the Yosemite Sam broadcasts in February 2005. The tower was located at the Mobility Assessment Test and Integration Center, also known as MATIC. This was part of a factory owned by Laguna Industries, located near Laguna, New Mexico. The pair took photographs of a compound containing buildings, towers, and antennas, but quickly fled when they were approached by a security guard yelling at them to not take any pictures. 3 hours later, the broadcast stopped and have not been heard since. Laguna Industries removed all references to MATIC from their website. Now the website is gone, but so many questions remain. I'll give you an alternate take. Now that website is gone, but so many questions remain. I'll give you one for safety. Now that website is gone, but so many questions remain. One of those will work. That is scene 8. Check audio. The entire pack. Good. NS08. All right, we've got the insert for Yosemite Sam. All right, so start at 0. Play 2 data bursts plus voice. We got to get smithereens. No, there's going to be a better version of that out there.
That's what I mean. I could get higher quality, I'm sure. I feel like that whole series was just, again, low quality.
All right, I think we got one here.
Social media and Facebook is not just a place that you throw content up. This is really
Oh, that was stupid. We don't have this in the Conet project, huh?
No.
We gotta go DuckDuckGo. Here we go. This is the same one. Yeah, this is people stealing each other's stuff.
Hello and welcome to. Please don't forget to like across several hertz. When a blight speaks on the higher frequency.
Dude, that's the best you got?
The signals lagoon 3 hours men accepted that this clandestine.
That's a fail. All right, then I got to go somewhere reliable. Since World War I.
Well, I got the original from Bugs Bunny,
No,
but where they're pulling that from.
stand by.
Number station of all time is Yosemite Sam, whose voice is played seconds in the out 0.8 seconds, followed by the voice of Yosemite Sam saying, "You kidding me?" Nope. That's a number station broadcasting from a government contractor in New Mexico. Don't tell me they're connected to Lockheed Martin. Well,
They were. All right, so even the WAV files doesn't have the full one.
It may not. It's been.
Nobody has it.
Then to a Russian signal known as the buzzer that mysteriously played 24 hours.
Someone's got to have this. Spynumbers.com is a good site. Someone's got to have this in a wave. Oh, we want him to. There's wave. Let's see if it's there. There we go. Everyone's got the same one. All right, we got to stick with that unless I can find a better one. Okay, next is scene 9. Atención, Spanish lady. Atención, looking for hard words to say. Voce de la chica. RDFT. Redundant digital file transfer of Spanish lady. Dirección General de Inteligencia. That's going to take me a few takes. All right, let's give it a go. We can't talk about Cold War era number stations without mentioning stations originating in Cuba. Gotta put that on mute. Try it again. Been chewing too much nicotine gum this week. We can't talk about Cold War era number stations without mentioning stations coming from Cuba. Several number stations have broadcast from the island nation, some of which began in late 2012, and many are still in use today. The first of these Cuban stations is the V02 station, more commonly known as Atención, or the Spanish lady. Insert Spanish lady. Coming out of insert. The Spanish lady began broadcasting in the mid-1960s and was active until 1997. It was then replaced by a variant station known as V02A. It started with the word Atención repeated several times, followed by a 5-digit message header, the number 150, and finally single groups of 5-digit numbers. In 2012, some Spanish lady stations were replaced by the HM01 station, Voce de la Chica, the voice of the girl. The station continued to broadcast until 2019. On December 26, 2006, a new station became active in Cuba, the SK01 station, nicknamed RDFT. It started broadcasting on an AM frequency. That's not a good way to say that. I don't even think we need that. Giving you that one again, rewriting it. On December 26, 2006, a new station became active in Cuba, the SK01 station, nicknamed RDFT. Insert RDFT. Oh, we got some Spanish coming up. Ay, Dios mío. RDFT stands for Redundant Digital File Transfer. This station, operating from a location close to the Spanish Lady Station, is thought to be operated by Dirección General de Inteligencia, DGI. It became inactive in 2012 when the Voce de la Chica station replaced it. So what is Voce de la Chica? I mentioned it took over a portion of the Spanish Lady Station and that it also replaced the RDFT station, but these stations were very different. Insert. Coming out of insert. The Voce de la Chica station began transmission in 2012 and is considered a hybrid station. It sends five-figure call-ups like the V02A, but the message is sent in the RDFT mode that was used by SK01 on an AM frequency. This combination allowed the other stations to cease operations. The Voce station still transmits communications from Cuba. The Voce de la Chica station is still online, transmitting from Cuba. The Voce de la Chica station is still online and transmits today. We could do better than that. Voce de la Chica station. Still on the air. All right, come out of cease operations with this all take. The Voce de la Chica station is still on the air in Cuba and transmits every day. End of scene 9. On December 26th, okay, audio is good.
I found a few Yosemite Sams to check out.
You have they're better?
The last two I sent are better. One's a short, so I don't think you could jump through it, but it's like about 3/4 of the way in. But the last one of the reasons why I think the qualities don't sound good is it's supposed to go up and down. Like they start with a lower tone, then they go up to a higher tone, a Yosemite Sam. So I think that was messing with how some of it sound. But I think the last two are probably the best that I found out there.
Oh yeah, we got this one already. Yeah, you can hear him saying to smithereens. Yeah, I guess we can use that one.
So the other one again is probably a slightly clearer, but it's in the middle of a short where they're explaining what's going on.
But it's going to be the same audio.
Yeah.
Everyone's just using the same audio. All right, we've got Atención. That one I think we've got in a WAV file. Which we'll use instead. Inserts, Conet.
So that WAV file sounds different. I put two in the chat there. That 6-second WAV file sounds a little bit different than.
Atención, 3, 8, 9, 5, 9, 0, 4.
All right, that one sounds pretty good. But you have something better?
No, that I thought you were using the link. That's the same link that I was using.
Okay. All right, Atención. So this is going to be a file. There's the file name. And let's see.
Atención, 3, 8, 9, 5, 9, 0, 4, 4, 7, 3.
So I think we can play that for about 15 seconds. Then we'll see if she has an end of transmission.
9, 7,
No. Okay, next one is SKO1. Tone at 7 seconds. Now that was cool. The modulation. (16) modulation. All right, that's the data burst. (45 to 46). Data burst. 46. Next is RDFT.
Now it's not. I don't know where it would fit in the script, but I did put a Art Bell clip talking about number stations also in the chat.
All right, we'll listen to that.
How many of you, hold up your hands, have heard of number?
Did you listen to the whole thing?
No, just the first 30 seconds of him explaining number stations.
Stations. Well, that's a fair amount of hands. Number stations are used by, well, spies. Typically, they appear on shortwave frequency. Lady 4, roaming in a sort of a codes. Having said that, there is a frequency which is no secret. It is 11175 megahertz. And on 11175, we have SAC.
All right, I'll have to listen to this whole thing, see if there's anything in there.
And
It's just Art explaining what they are. We're at RDFT, or did we listen to that already? Oh, page is not available.
So we need to find an RDFT.
Yeah.
That was that on the project? That one might have been there.
I don't know who put that insert in there. It's possible it was a typo. Try that. Ah, there we go. All right, so we have it, but this is 21 minutes. Yikes. All right, start. 17.
Siete, dos, tres, seis, 6, 1, 7, 2, 4, 0, 1, 3, 0, 7, 6, 7, 5, 0, 3, 2.
Play a few seconds of numbers. All right, he's got the waveform up so we can see by scrubbing through. Yeah, see that? Let's see that. That looks like a data burst. Let's see how that sounds.
2, 3, 6.
Yeah. Data burst 411. To 428. But maybe make this 3 seconds. Kind of reminds you of the old school modems that where data was encoded in the sound. That's what we're hearing here. That's what these data bursts are. Is there's information in there. That's the same data burst.
0, 1, 3, 0, 7.
Or just repeating. Now it looks different. What is she doing here?
You've got mail.
6, 7, 5, 0, 3.
It's different data, but it's going to sound the same on a podcast. Let's see if we do an end of transmission. Nothing? Nothing. Oh, I wasn't showing you guys what I was looking at. Yeah, I was just scrubbing through. Like when they post the links like this is really helpful because we can see visually what's going on in the spectrum. So that's what I was doing. Sorry, I didn't have the right tab shared. All right, so that's covered. We're ready for next scene, which is... What the hell is our next scene? Scene 10.
You know, it's weird because I always thought the scene from Red Dawn, where they're playing the messages on the radio, was similar to this. So I didn't know if that was like something that they actually did as well. If they did, you know, John has a long mustache and the chair is against them. So I don't know.
Yeah,
if that's same thing.
Same thing. All right, here we go. Let's stay out of the chat. Okay, I missed a lot of chat. Oh, it scrolls the whole chat to get me caught up. Oh my God. Timothy, do we know what country these were played in? Through history, most of them come out of Russia. But British intelligence broadcast from Cyprus, island of Cyprus. Sounds like the blend of the game Simon and a fax machine signal. That's kind of what I meant, JR. Is That's how fax machines worked, right? The sound was converted into data. That's what these data bursts are that are coming through on shortwave. Mario Madness, you'd have to encoded need computer stuff at the Wi-Fi. I don't know what you mean, Mario. But if you explain in the chat, I'll try to respond. Nick saying UK used them to attempt signal jamming. That's certainly true. Martin, scared AF, AJ. Don't be scared. These can't hurt you. Burger Time, possibly subsonic messages in them. No, it would be too hard to do over shortwave because the quality is so low. But the data bursts have messages in those. His anti-misfit Wolverines, yep. RTC, please continue working. I hate this part, LOL. This is the process. You don't have to love it. But I was honest at the beginning. You're going to be part of the process. This is how I do the episodes. Bev says, Ringway Manchester, September 23, YouTube video about Yosemite Station. But does he have a good audio recording of it, Bev? Because it looks like everyone is just passing around the same audio. Heat 4000, your videos put me to sleep. Fair enough. Let's see your videos. Claude, why are his glasses red tinted? Because I have super bright lights in front of me. So it's really hard to see. And they have a magnification on them so I can read the chat. But they're nothing fancy. Get them on Amazon. Gail says, don't change anything, AJ. I'm not Gail. You know, this is a live stream for a certain type of person. Len Falco, what's up with the Miami alien? I don't know, man. There seems to be, you'd think there'd be a lot more cell phone footage of what was going on inside that mall, but Vega, your voice is attractive. Well, thank you, Vega. Thank you for stopping in the live stream tonight. And DSCRN, I'm that type of person. I know you are. I know you are. And I see some of the chats where people saying they're bored. Okay. Okay, I was honest about what this was going to be, so I'm sorry. I don't care if you're bored. This is for a certain person, like DSDRN. All right, scene 10. I just scanning for hard words. Okay. We'll give it a go. Sinuses, oof. Okay, so we've talked about the individual number stations found across the globe and their creepy interval signals. Inserting Swedish Rhapsody. Coming out of insert. But what are number stations? Well, number stations are shortwave radio transmitters generally operating between 3,000 and 30,000 kilohertz. They're located in many countries all over the world, but no one really knows how many there are. The stations sometimes transmit numbers spoken by a computer-generated voice, which is how number stations got their name. But others broadcast Morse code, compressed data bursts, or beloved cartoon characters. Some stations have been broadcasting for decades, maybe have gone quiet since the fall of the Soviet Union. Countless number stations are on the air right now. For what purpose, few really know. And the people that do know, they aren't talking. One anonymous intelligence agent from One anonymous intelligence agent let's reword that. We'll try it like that. Coming out of They Aren't Talking. An intelligence agent from the UK, speaking off the record, said, "Number stations are exactly what you think they are, and that's all I'll say about it. In almost every country, a license is required to broadcast, but number stations aren't licensed. They're essentially pirate stations operating illegally, but nobody shuts them down, and no government acknowledges they even exist. Amateur detectives, radio buffs, and investigative journalists have studied number stations for years. There's enough information out there to assume these transmissions have a single purpose: espionage." End of scene. Scene 10. Check audio. Sinuses. Transmit numbers spoken by... Got it. All right, we have some inserts. We just had the Swedish Rhapsody insert.
I do have one of those on the side if you didn't have it.
I think we already have it up top. Yep. We've got that as a CONET file. Okay, that's it. We're ready to go to the next scene. And we're almost done. Grandpa's getting tired. Okay, here we go. Shortwave radio is old technology. In the late 1920s, it was a popular way to communicate over long distances because of how the waves travel. The Earth's ionosphere is a region of space between 50 to 370 miles above the surface. Shortwave radio energy can bounce high off the Earth's ionosphere and return to Earth, sometimes over and over again. This allows the signal to travel great distances. This is called skywave or skip propagation. With a decent radio, you can tune into a strong shortwave signal from the other side of the planet. Now, that's pretty useful if you're an intelligence agency and you need to send a secret message to agents and assets in the field. Also, computerized messages can be hacked, tracked, and traced, but no one can trace who is receiving a shortwave radio signal. And while it is possible to triangulate the transmission source, it's not easy. Anyone can eavesdrop on an international spy network if you know the right frequency, including you. You can find tons of frequencies online. What you'll hear depends on the station. Some stations, like the buzzer in Russia, broadcast constantly. Others power up at scheduled times so agents in the field know when to tune in. You'll hear a lot of Spanish, Czech, Chinese, Hebrew. But you know where most of the spy stations are? Yep, Russia. End of scene 11. Ionosphere and return to Earth. All right. I love these nice short scenes. Just looking for hard words. All right, what are we? Scene 12? Scene 12. The broadcasts you'll hear on number stations vary. They'll generally begin with an alert signal. This alert may be a simple tone or fragments of a song, such as with the famous Lincolnshire Poacher and Cherry Ripe stations. This indicates to listeners that a message is about to begin, and also gives a few seconds to tune the radio for the best reception. After the tone is usually a set of spoken numbers or letters, often 4 or 5 at a time, which are repeated again and again before moving on to a new set. The speaker is often mechanically or digitally created or edited and is typically female. This is because higher pitched tones are easier to hear and understand. There are a lot of variations on the same structure. Many stations have received nicknames that reflect the station depending on what's being broadcast. Names like the Buzzer, Cherry Ripe, the Spanish Lady, the Russian Woodpecker, Atención, Yosemite Sam, and Swedish Rhapsody. Sometimes broadcasts are really clear. Other times, atmospheric conditions can degrade the signals. Sometimes intentional jamming from other countries creates enough interference in the frequency that makes transmission difficult to understand. Many stations like Yosemite Sam will hop around to different frequencies to compensate for jamming. The coded structure of the messages indicates that these messages are indeed secret and intended to avoid. We got to rewrite that. Leave a mark. All right. Rewrite and coming back. Last line was compensate for jamming. The coded structure of the broadcast indicates they are indeed secret and intended to avoid detection. The question then is, how do spies understand these messages when no one else can? End of scene. Variations on the same structure. All right, what do we got? Uh-oh. That's going to be fine. Going to be fine. That's going to be fine. What's going on in the chat? Oh, it's going fast. And it's almost caught up. It should be atmospheric, not atmosphere. That's fine. You can email the corrections in, and we'll get those taken care of for you. Troy White, AJ, when do we break out the bourbon? I mean, we could do it right now. Actually, we're already at 11:15, and I want to get this wrapped up and head home. And we're almost done anyway. Thanks, Katie. Scorpuana's here. Good to see you. Ryan Heinzman, bathroom break? Should we? I don't really have to go, but I can always go. Angel Cook episode on CERN. You know what might be fun is I'll take a bathroom break, and maybe we have Gino give a take on this episode on this scene. What do you think?
You want
to take a shot?
They're not going to like it. You're going to watch our following go down. Go ahead.
You don't have to do it. I just, you have a lot of fans there tonight.
All right. Ask me some questions on the side. I'll see what I can do.
All right, I'll be back.
I don't think I can scroll for you though. So go ahead. You only get this one page. Go for it. Better go quick.
I'm going.
He's gonna have to use a piss jug in the office instead.
Don't say piss jug on the stream.
Even though they're very low tech, number stations are still in use because, unlike computer code, these transmissions are virtually unbreakable. So, What's so hard about deciphering a few numbers? Actually, it's nearly impossible. This is because of an encryption technique called a one-time pad. With the one-time pad system, the sender and receiver have a piece of paper or an entire notebook filled with random digits. Using a key given during transmission corresponding to the pad, the recipient can figure out what letters the incoming characters or digits stand for. Each key is used only once and then discarded. The sender and the receiver immediately destroy the key at the end of the transmission. I guess that's like, Mission Impossible. This message will automatically destruct. So even if someone else intercepts the numbers without the key, they can't decode the hidden message. This also means there's no relationship between past and future messages, so there's no pattern to use in breaking the code. To fool cryptographers, the numbers must be really, really random. And creating a truly random sequence is actually really difficult, even for computers. Little too many reallys in that last paragraph there. Not gonna really tell them about it, but you might need to change that. All right, what do we got? You got to hit the button when you break character, Gino. Oh yeah, I don't have a button to hit. The only button I have is for my dog. I got this button that lets her tell me that she needs to go outside. So that's what I'll have to do. Each key is only used once and then discarded. The sender and receiver immediately destroy the key at the end of the transmission. All right, what do we got in the? We got people smoking pre-rolls in the chat. I'm not supposed to mention that, maybe. I don't know. Let's see. Gino. I like that. It's good to see me on the mic again. Missing 411. Love the missing 411. We're huge fans over here. Let's see. I wish we could cover some of the stories, but AJ said it a million times. It's hard to do anything better than what David's doing over at Missing 411. Love everything he does. I have done a few. I did do one of his stories, Robot Granny, for a story hour. Let's see. Gino, you rock. That's nice. Let's see. More Wi-Files. What a great way. I missed that. That was too quick. Doggo's sitting right next to me. Gino and AJ are awesome. That's nice. If you keep pushing that outside button, sorry, your dogs are gonna. As soon as I do it, my dog, her eyes go right up. Let's see. These mods have a lot to read. Acid tonight. Tell a street joke, Gino. What's a street joke? There's chicken across the road. Is that a street joke? Dual host. Oh. That's very nice of you. We would definitely not have any viewers. Okay. So
how many viewers did you lose while I was gone?
At least 16.
That's not so bad.
You could go ahead and read this if you'd like. But
I would like to. I'd like to read this and go home.
But I think you need to take a few reallys out of that last paragraph there.
And we'll deal with it when we get there.
Right on.
All right, where are we at? Scene 13. Even though they're very low tech, number stations are still in use because, unlike computer code, these transmissions are virtually unbreakable. So what's so hard about deciphering a few numbers? Actually, it's nearly impossible. This is because of an encryption technique called a one-time pad. With a one-time pad system, the sender and receiver have a piece of paper or an entire notebook filled with random digits. Given a key Using a key given during transmission corresponding to the pad, the recipient can figure out what letters the incoming characters or digits stand for. I just scarfed an orange and a shot of bourbon. Sorry, Josh. Maybe some belches in this take. Where was I? Stand for? Yeah. All right. Characters digits stand for. Each key is used only once and then discarded. The sender and receiver immediately destroy the key at the end of the transmission. So even if someone else intercepts the numbers without the key, they can't decode the hidden message. This also means there's no relationship between past and future messages. So there's no pattern. To use in breaking the code. To fool cryptographers, the numbers must be really, really random. And creating a truly random sequence is actually very difficult, even for computers. When a computer generates a random number, it's not really random. Computers generate random numbers through processes known as pseudo-random number generation, or PRNG. And here's how it works. The computer will take a starting number, usually a time code, and then run that number through a series of programs. Each program uses a different algorithm to change the number. Computer programmers are familiar with the concept of seeding random numbers. A seed is the starting point for random number generation. If you ask a computer, should have had the bourbon. If you ask a computer for a random number, but give it the same seed, guess what? You get the same number as a result. So not truly random. Some cryptography tries to make guessing the seed difficult, so the seed is run through other programs first using different sets of variables. If these variables can be discovered, the sequence can be predicted, often by other computers. And quantum computers, they can crack this without breaking a sweat. Quantum computers are also the future of random number generation. Quantum processes are inherently random, right? Remember our episodes on quantum mechanics. To keep it simple, quantum particles have various attributes like how fast they spin and what direction they spin. But it's impossible to know these numbers until we measure them. That's called collapsing of the wave function. Now, I don't want to get too much into the weeds on this, but quantum computing is the future of cryptography. Number stations are usually All right, we take a beat here. Number stations are usually operated by governments and their intelligence agencies, but not all stations. Some number stations are operated by organized crime. End of scene. The more tired I get, the harder it is to pronounce the words. All right, that was scene 13. Coming up on scene 14. Oh, there's Gino's Mexican food station. I got some inserts coming up. Good. Good. Let's give it a go. Come on. Wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up. Launched the podcast too soon, I told you. Enough time for this. Supposed to be researching this week's episode, which is about dreams, by the way. It should be interesting. Shared dreaming, dream inception, all that kind of stuff. Start recording. Number stations are designed to transmit secrets and avoid detection. Drug lords and other criminals use shortwave to avoid international authorities. This is especially true in the US, where many intercepted signals are broadcast in Spanish. Since they don't have government oversight, the execution is pretty sloppy. Once in a while, the broadcasts are less than professional. The person reading the code may make mistakes, or there could be talking or laughing in the background. Cuban stations are particularly known for their hilarious missteps. Sometimes they've had such poor rewriting. All right, that's a little better. Coming out of missteps. Sometimes the broadcasts are impossible to hear, or they accidentally bring in music from Radio Havana. Parody stations have popped up on the radio. In 1987, a station known as Mexican Food aired on Halloween night. It started with a poorly accented voice repeating "Atención," followed by 5 sets of Mexican food. Insert Mexican food station. Josh should know this station right off the top of his head. He's Mexican. No racist comments in the chat. We're a very diverse group here at the Waffle House. Coming out of racist insert. A station called Attention 69 aired in the 1990s and was also a spoof of the A station called Attention 69 aired in the 1990s. It was a spoof of the Cuban Spanish lady station. And instead of numbers, the station aired profanities. Inserting profanities. I haven't heard them yet, so we will see. And coming out of profanities. Even with all these different types of number stations out there, espionage is the most common use. There are even some very public and very recent examples of this. In 1983, the KGB discovered a CIA agent posing as a Soviet diplomat who was receiving orders from American number broadcasts. A well-known case is the 2001 Cuban 5 case, where Cuban spies were caught. Rewriting. American number broadcasts coming out of that. A well-known case is the 2001 Cuban 5 case, where Cuban spies were caught. Shortwave broadcasts were used in the case against them. The numbers message was sent to the spies via radio and entered. Oh, I see what we're doing here. The numbers message. Rewriting. All right, we'll try that. Rewriting a case against them. The numbers were sent to the spies via radio and entered into a laptop. Then it was decoded by a special floppy disk that contained the key. Also in 2001, Ana Montes, who worked for the U.S. Defense Intelligence Agency, was arrested and convicted of spying for Cuba. Investigators searched her home and found a shortwave radio and a code sheet used to encrypt radio transmissions. She exposed the identities of covert operators in Cuba, and her information was directly responsible for the death of at least one American soldier, maybe more. In 2016, CNN called Montes the most dangerous spy you've never heard of, although now you've heard of her. In 2011, German authorities arrested Russian spies Andreas and Heidrun. I want to get their names right. Coming out of, although now you've heard of her. In 2011, German authorities arrested Russian spies Andreas and Heidrun Anschlag for feeding military secrets to Russia. The married couple moved to Germany in 1998, just before the fall of the Berlin Wall, and remained undercover there until their arrests. When authorities burst into their home, Heidrun was right in the middle of receiving a shortwave transmission. And to this day, and despite this mountain of evidence, no government or intelligence agency has ever officially admitted to using number stations. But that doesn't surprise me. Does it surprise you? End of scene 14. Start recording. Heard profanities. All right, one last short scene left. Let's see what's going on in the chat. Scroll, 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 scroll. Do you see how fast? Bill, didn't you do an episode on this already? I did. This is for the podcast. Coolio and scene. Colorado Kid, AJ, just get AI to read the script in your voice or heckle fishes. I had my voice professionally done with AI, like the full professional deal. And it sounds just like me, but what it misses is the life. Like all AI, it misses the inflections and, it just doesn't have the emotion. But if it was me just reading, it sounds like me. Chance, maybe. Thanks for that. And it's good to see you. Sean E. Steve-O and Jeremy Corbell gave you a shout out. Yeah, Gino showed me the clip. It was pretty funny. Gino's known Steve for a long time. Quantum, that reminds me, we were waiting at the airport a few years ago, Jen and I sitting at a table with Gino, and then we hear from behind us, Gino! Look around, there's Steve-O. Gino knows everybody. Hi, Tina Ortiz. Ryan Everett, and it screws up many words. The AI, yes, it does. Nikora Waka, love you, go home to bed. I am. I have one page left and we're out. Quantum, thanks for letting us see the behind the scenes. You're very welcome. Avatar guy, keep this video for the how files. It's a great how-to. I don't know about that. Evan Case, you've managed to meet Steve-O. I'm so jealous. I just met him the once, but Gino knows him pretty well. He's a very nice guy. Killface, the live stream I didn't know I needed. Thank you. You're welcome. I knew some people would enjoy this, and I knew plenty of people wouldn't. Say hi to Josh. I will. It really is a great tutorial. Is it, though? I don't think, is anyone really learning anything? You read the script, you do the inserts. Nothing to it. There's just a belch in there. Paul, yeah, don't take this video down. It's really good. Well, I'm glad you think so, Paul. It'll land on the channel. Yep, that's the one. 42, I learned some stuff tonight, truly. That's very interesting that you guys are saying that. I don't know what you learned, but I'm glad that you did. I'd like to hear if you put it in the chat. Check the writing on the date you just read. It was written as 1988. You pronounced 1998. All right, so here's what we'll do. That was scene 14. Scene 14 pickup. Pronouncing the date. In 2011, German authorities arrested Russian spies Andreas and Heidrun Anschlag for feeding military secrets to Russia. The married couple moved to Germany in 1988, just before the fall of the Berlin Wall, and remained undercover there until their arrests. That is NS14 pickup. All right, so that's how we do that. Who's that asking a question? That was a good one. I know I have your question. I don't remember your name. I'd like to say your name. I forget. But it was, what is your advice for how to start a YouTube channel and making videos. My advice is to just start right now. Don't worry about cameras or microphones or anything. You've got your phone, and shoot a video. And start from there. And post it. And nobody will watch it. And it will be awful. And you'll hate it. But you just keep doing that over and over and over again. And you'll get better. And if you're entertaining enough, you'll find an audience. For the Y-Files, it took a couple of years. Some people get there faster, some longer. But as long as you're entertaining people, or at least you're just making them happy, you'll find an audience. Ellie Delgado, can you do an episode on El Chupacabra? That's coming up in we're doing an episode like top 10 cryptids, because you know I hate cryptids. So we're going to bang them all out in one episode. Did you work with Square Enix once? I did. I've done voices for video games, if that's what you mean. Ambient Glass, give the story you couldn't tell on the Neanderthal predation hypothesis. I won't do that here because that's just a lot. But on the next After Files, we can do that. Today, I'm just sticking to the script. Dave Dominique, AJ, I'm a retired federal agent with PTSD. Watching your show really helped lift my spirits when I was in some dark places with depression. Please know what you're doing helps uplift people. Thanks so much, Dave. I'm glad you're out there. Thanks for the work that you did. And I'm sorry about your PTSD. But as you know, that comes with law enforcement. But you're acknowledging it. You're acknowledging publicly. You're in a good spot, man. Just keep going. Just keep going. Tomorrow's going to be better. All right, let's get to the last. We'll get to the last scene. AJ should voice a new Max Payne since the actor passed away. Well, they didn't ask me. All right, where are we? We did that. Does it surprise you? Okay, this is it. This is it. We're done. Scan. Okay. Okay. You don't need a radio to listen to spy communications. You can listen to the entire shortwave band online. Because these receivers are operated by software, they can be operated remotely by people across the world. If you want to binge station broadcasts, you can go down a rabbit hole with the CONET project. The CONET project was an independent initiative to record, catalog, and inform the public about the secret transmissions around us in the air every day. A series of CDs released in the 90s had hundreds of recordings. Now the project is online and has been updated. You can even download the files as MP3s for later analysis. The quantity of number stations peaked during the Cold War and has dropped dramatically over the past few years. Still, the broadcasts continue. Are they feeding invaluable information to operatives on crucial missions? Or are they just holdovers from government agencies protecting their budgets? It could also be that governments maintain the stations for readiness purposes. If the power grid or internet goes down, a shortwave transmitter just needs an antenna and a diesel generator. If the power grid or internet goes down, a shortwave transmitter just needs an antenna and diesel generator, and they can be on the air around the world. But as communication technology continues evolving and digital encryption gets harder to crack, we might finally see the end of number stations. Or maybe the opposite will occur. Maybe some catastrophic digital apocalypse will create a number station renaissance, pushing broadcasters back onto the front lines of international intelligence, where random numbers raining down from the ionosphere can, once again, changed the course of human history. End of scene 15. Why are you shaking your head?
Stupid comment. Someone said, AJ, your wife is your knife, and if she's not happy, you need to figure out why. And I'm thinking, what do you mean, Jen? Jen is happy. Everything. I couldn't even think of someone happier. I don't know. It was just a weird.
It's the chat. There's going to be weird comments in there. Like there was one comment that said, AJ, you look tired AF. Okay. Like, why post that? If it's to hurt my feelings or annoy me, that works. But all it does is tell me that you're kind of awkward around people. And maybe
I found it. So this is, I mean, regardless of how stupid it sounds, the way it's written. Sorry, Rose Blossom. AJ, your wife is your knife. Get on the same page with her. If she is not happy with you, you need. If she's not happy, you need to figure out why. It's just such a strange comment. What would
so
bring
weird?
That,
so weird. Like to think that person knows anything about me and Jen and our marriage. It's so presumptive.
I mean, I'm sure no one believes me, but it seems like we all spend so much time together. We all have a good time all the time, every single day. It's regardless of their marriage, everyone's just happy all the time. I mean, it's not like, I don't know why anyone would think that Jen isn't happy for any reason. I mean,
and let's say that they thought that she wasn't. First of all, it's none of their business. But secondly, why take the time to sit and type that into a chat thread? It just tells me that you're socially awkward and you're not good with relationships and getting along with people.
Yeah.
Like, how mom would say, if you don't have something nice to say, don't say anything at all. That's how chat should be. Why do that in here? It just makes you look weird.
So sorry, Rose. That was weird. It was wrong.
Rose is an awkward person, but that's okay.
I think she might be having some trouble.
She's having trouble, but she's learning.
Hey, but
DSRN doesn't play well with people. I don't play well with people either, but it's not like I don't get along with people. I prefer to have fewer people around me. I'm kind of spectrumy, but I can socialize and not be weird. But when we see comments like about my marriage and stuff like that, that's someone who's really struggling with how to communicate with others. And I could do a live stream about that have the whole chat just be awkward people who have like weird things to say. And I'll coach you through how to get through whatever you're struggling with.
Here's another one button. AJ, if your cat is not happy, he will bite you in your sleep.
That's true.
It might also mean he's hungry.
Aaron Cotton, do you know when Mysteries of the Ocean Part 2 will be ready? Probably not for a while, Aaron. But the reason that's Part 1 and 2 is because we had so many. So we do have some other ones. We will get that episode together. It's going to include ghost ships, which I thought is pretty cool. And the Titanic conspiracies will be in there.
And then I don't know if we're putting it in this one or it's going to wind up being a third, but the QAnon, it wasn't QAnon. What's the thread? It's not a Reddit thread about the underwater bases. I forgot. 4chan thread.
Oh yeah, we're going to put that together. I think that'd be really interesting. Bruce wants to know where I got my glasses. Okay, so they're from Amazon. Here's the thing. They're nothing fancy or special. They're tinted amber lens because of the light in my face and a little bit of a magnification. They're like readers. So if you go on the Y-Files official Reddit, on our subreddit, look for the fact page. The mods put up a direct link to Amazon to buy these. They're like $18-20. John, Hi Brazil. I covered Hi Brazil in pretty recently. Probably something to do with flood myths. Gray Lobo, AJ, how you hold that hair up, bro? It's just some spray and product. Jen wanted me to grow it out. So she's in charge of that. Scorpana, you should make a video about where you get your glasses so you can link to it. Haha.
It would get a lot of views.
All right. Well, we'll find it. Reddit, the WAV files. I'll show you guys right now. I don't even go on Reddit anymore.
Oh, there's the Matt Rife episode talking about us on Rogan.
There's the fact page. So a lot of the is an interesting is AJF Fed /CIA. It's in here somewhere. What are the glasses AJ wears on the After Files? All right. I'll just put that link in the chat. Oh, he didn't put an affiliate link in there? That's fine. Grandy, don't link the glasses for free. Get a sponsorship. Yeah, my team is talking to glasses companies, but I don't know. All right, we're at 11:15, and we've been going for 3 hours. I think it's time to call it. What do you say?
So I mean, don't ask me. I'm up.
Gino's up, but this is already past my bedtime.
This is when I find the best stories.
All right, so 11:18. We'll go to 11:30. I'll just bang out some super chats for you guys. There's Brittany. Thank you. Hang on. There you go. Brittany, thank you for all that you do for us. Take care of yourself, though. We will still be here even if you take a full night's rest. I don't do full night's rest, Brittany, but I thank you for your support. Never have. Irish, well, Haywood Jablo. Gina, what's this guy's name?
Haywood Jablomi.
Mom, we have Robert Downey Jr. at home stream. Brian Ricky, really nice to have you live on a Saturday night. I'm happy to be here. Thanks for showing up. Dustin Redo, thanks for giving us this content. You're very welcome. Albie Wilson, thanks for the shout out. There's another one. Trey looking for the Skinwalker Ranch episode that is in the works. Here's the simulation at work. Chris, your haircut is phenomenal. Where do you go? All right, this is going to be, maybe you will. I haven't had a haircut since COVID. I got the buzzer at home and the scissors, and I do it myself. And now it's at the point where it annoys Jen. But it's just convenient. Robert, $100. How's the super blanket? It's getting there. She's slowed down. Jen has been known to get through 3/4 of all of her projects. But this one's getting there. It's huge though. I started calling it the ham blanket because someone in a live stream said it looks like she's crocheting ham. Seek and Destroy. Did you see Wi-Fi shout out on Steve-O's Wild Ride the other day? I did see that.
I put a picture link over in the private chat.
Perfect. Michael McClary, thanks for the surprise live while the wife and I just got into bed. I feel like I should start singing some Barry White to you guys. Hey, AJ, can I read my other's chat? I think I might have read it, but congratulations once again on your nuptials. Brad Thornton, thank you for the 50s. This is best channel. Tell Hecklefish what's up. I will. Oh, here we go. There's Senpai's back again. Thank you. He heard that. Jordan has basically been one of the co-hosts tonight.
Looks like
Guitar 93. I got way too into listening to number stations for a sec. Yeah, I did too. Chris Springer for 140 Canadian. Thanks for all the fun and very entertainingly videos. You're very welcome, Chris. I hope we're making your day a little bit brighter. Night Valen, my new favorite channel. I'll be watching all of them. Keep it up, brother. Well, welcome aboard. Dustin Redu, Congress had a briefing on UAPs. They did once again, and once again, we'll learn nothing. There will be no disclosure. Mr. J, for 20, love your channel. Please stay with the truth. I am. Jordan is back. I will help for free. Okay. I'm just going to keep scanning through for Jordan's comments. And now Mitchell's watching. Mitchell's up. He's waiting to see. Midnight for 5. Hey, some sleep. Make sure you're eating good. Keep up the great work. Well, that's very nice of you to be concerned. James Foster for 5. Try not to burn yourself out. I've seen a bunch of creators take an extended break and not come back. I'm good. The thing is, I'm a lot older than other creators, and I've been in show business for many, many years. So if you're 19 and you become a content creator, you don't really understand burnout or how to manage it or what it looks like. But when you get into the game late, after being in entertainment professionally for a long time, you understand what burnout is. And I'm tired, and I'm close to burnout, but I'm managing it. So don't worry about me. And besides, there's a whole team around me that's taking care of stuff. Anthony's there for 20. Are the lizards a single-sex race, or do they use us for procreation? Ooh, I don't know. That was an unsettling comment. Now I'm picturing it.
It's 2023. Gender is...
AJ, take a beat. We'll be here. I appreciate that. All right, let me scroll past the super chats. We're talking about my well-being. Jesse Fraley for 20. Astronomer here. What you said is true. The sun is the most dangerous threat to us. Have you done a video on the Carrington event if it happened today? I did do the Carrington event, and within that episode, Jesse, I had a whole chapter on what would happen if it happened today. I've said many times usually on the After Files, I'm not worried about nuclear war or pandemics or anything like that. I am worried about some type of solar event because we are really not prepared for it. If you have the means, get a generator. I make sure it's a dual fuel and have it ready, and lots of propane. LT Retro, I teach at a juvenile home. All my students love your videos. I put on a conspiracy theory lesson twice a month, and your videos are a big part of them. No, that makes me so happy. Now, a juvenile home is that like for kids who have nowhere to go? Or is that a juvenile home like for bad kids? Like juvie? I mean, either way, I'm glad that you're watching. Rose. She's LMAO me. It's just a dumb comment, silly. Don't think too much about it. Rosie, we were just kind of using you as an example. It was nothing specific against you. Weird comments is part of the job. And lots of times people will leave a weird comment. They're not really meaning to hurt anyone's feelings. They just have a thought and they put it out there, not realizing it's weird. But I mean, we've all done it, right? Where we've been in a party or in a situation, said something, and then after you say it, you're like, I probably could have kept that to myself. That was not that no one gained anything from my words. I certainly have. I've said things to people over the years that still haunt me, like 20 years later. Like if I have a moment to reflect on it, be like, I can't believe I said that to that guy at that party. Like I still have stress about it. Emo bassist, huge gamer. What games have you done? Most recently, Red Dead and some Final Fantasy stuff. JJ Jones, hey homie, I'm drunk, but I appreciate our content. It's Claire You're top tier. Keep doing what you. It's clear that you're drunk, JJ, but I'm glad that you're here and having a good time. Don't drive. Be safe. There's Pippin Lowe. Love your show. Nice to be here for the first time. Is this a regular night, Saturday, for this get together? Loved getting scared by the Neanderthals. No, this isn't a regular thing. It was just an idea I had. People, Patreon members were asking for more insight to what goes on behind the scenes. And Saturdays is the day I record the podcast. So I thought maybe I'll just record it live for you guys and show you the process in real time. You know, not the slick, polished version, but the me reading and mispronouncing words and mumbling and having to start over. There's Paul Harvey. I'm a big fan. Hey, Jamie and my wife love these Y-Files. We are regular SDCC attendees. Any chance the Y-Files would ever attend? SDCC sounds familiar. San Diego Comic-Con? Is that what that is? I mean, I've been to Comic-Con a few times. I don't know what we would do there besides just walk around and hang out. You know, look at the cosplayers. All right, here, I got to read this ahead because it could be trouble. Okay, violate the magistrate for 5. I would love for you to be quote unquote honest in a live stream. We agree on most things. Drink, drink, drink. Seriously though, please don't get canceled. Fair enough. Ashlyn is here, new subscriber, but absolutely love what I've seen so far. I'm glad, Ashlyn. All right, if I'm missing your super chats, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to get through a few here so I can get home and get to bed. There's Robert. Thank you for the $100. Very generous of you. I appreciate that. Keeping us going. Mendy with a good question. Can you do a video on flat earth? Probably not, because YouTube hates those. Even if I'm debunking, it hates those and it damages the channel. But I always direct people to Professor Dave. He's a big channel. He debunks flat earth in a lot of videos, and I recommend him because he loses his mind about it. Like, he gets more emotional than necessary. I don't know why it bothers him, but he's a scientist and he debunks it pretty well. He's even had flat earthers on his show and debated them, but again, he loses his mind. Like, I watch and I laugh and I'm like, dude, just relax. People are going to believe what they're going to believe. Who cares? But it's the internet. Bubby Musgrove, longtime fan. Cool to hear you mentioned on Rogan the other day. We were mentioning on Rogan again the other day?
If we were, it hasn't come across to me unless he was listening to Reggie Watts or Matt
Post Malone.
Or Post Malone.
Yeah.
But I did recently reach out to Jamie about it after the Matt Rife, after Reggie Watts put us up there.
Joseph Job for 5. Hey, AJ, any opinions, consultations, or validations on your shows with Dr. Greer? I like Dr. Greer, and I like what he's done. He's important. I get suspicious when people make lots of money for odd things like charging thousands of dollars so you can go on a retreat with him and learn how to telepathically communicate with aliens. I don't like that sort of thing. And look, maybe that's a real science. And maybe he's taken people there, and for $3,500, depending on the flights and so forth, they would have been able to speak to aliens telepathically. And if they could, and if that works, I'd spend $3,500 to do that. But as far as I know, no one has successfully got that to work. But the money still comes in. So that bothers me. But just my opinion. Mustafa's here. Thank you for all your great work. Every episode leaves me internet-tigued. By the way, watch the Neanderthal episodes on, I don't know what icon that is, but I'm thank you for the compliment. I put a lot of work into that, me and the boys. All right, we'll get a last couple here. Paul says, I got a big smile on my face. Feels like the good old days just with new friends. That's nice to hear, Paul. Army Nation, very reliable supporter of the channel. Really love the episodes on Spotify. Also love listening to them at work. Tango, AJ, and Wildfiles team. Well, you're welcome, my friend. Brentley West Everett loved the series Lost. Ironically, they had a number of stations. Is that irony? Or is that coincidentally? Someone in the chat will let you know. The grand philosophical themes about life, history, humanity, and religion were so fascinating. Were you a fan as well? Thoughts? I was a fan up until The Hatch. And that's when I realized that the writers didn't know where they were going with the story. So that's when I bailed out. And then later learned through interviews, when asked, how they came up with the storyline, the writers said, yeah, when we got to The Hatch, we didn't really know where we were going with the story. But I thought it was a cool concept. Ezek, have you heard of MH370 Airplane Missing? I have. I've covered a little bit on the After Files, and we might do a full episode on it. There's some really great footage out there. M48, no heckle fishing podcast? Sometimes he is.
A modern day goldfish lives in style, but you haven't tipped in quite a while. My money is all spent. You haven't tipped a cent. I gotta pay my rent, or I'll be living in a tent in Portland.
There you go, M48. He's in there. All right, there's a comment I want to see if I can get up there. It might be too hard to do. Oh, there it is. No, that's not the one. There it is. No, it's scrolling too fast. There we go. I am from beyond. AJ, do you do the voice of Hecklefish? Hecklefish does his own voice. I am from beyond. Who does your voice? Michelangelo, thank you for loving the channel. I also am a fan of your work. Lulu Lacrima, I can't believe this. I work at a drop-in center for the homeless, and our participants come in to charge their phones so they can listen to you at night. You touch so many. That's amazing, Lulu. I'm actually, that's amazing. Jessica LaPlante for 20. You, AJ, you and the team are a treasure after such a long tease. When can we expect the much anticipated deep dive into the Anunnaki? That's coming soon, Jessica, I promise. All right, I'm going to wrap it here because Lulu's comment hit me pretty hard at the moment. So no one needs to see AJ cry on the live stream. I feel for the people out there. Yeah, I feel for those folks out there. Lulu, you're doing great work. I wish there were more good people out there like you. You're certainly a better person than I am. Gino, thanks for your help tonight.
Thank you.
And there he goes. Thanks for everyone for super chatting tonight. I'm sorry if I didn't get to yours, but I appreciate the support. I hope you had fun. A little bit of behind the scenes action. I'll try and do these from time to time if the response to this video is positive. As for this week, we're going to do the episode on dreams on Thursday, and I've got to start researching that tomorrow. So I've got 36 hours. All right. It can be done. All right, guys. Thanks so much for stopping by, and I will see you this week.